What do you got for me on the storyline of the offseason? What do you think as we turn the page? The story will be fill in that blank for me. Peter.
I think the biggest story in the offseason is going to be what happens with Lamar Jackson. And I think there's a legitimate chance that, I mean, Rich, let's say you as a lifelong fan of the New York Jets, you know that when Woody Johnson comes out after the season and says internally, quietly, however he says it, we're going to address the quarterback situation. Well, we all think, and I think you think, that the number one step would be Aaron Rodgers. If that doesn't work, could the number two step be Lamar Jackson? And this is going to be one of the toughest decisions a franchise, in my opinion, has had in recent years for a very simple reason. Obviously, anybody would want Lamar Jackson to be the quarterback of the team. But how much guaranteed money are you willing to give a player who in the last 2 years has missed 34% of the snaps because of injury? It's easy to sit here and say, get Lamar, sign Lamar, pay Lamar. Well, that's, of course. But what does that mean exactly? So to me, I think the Jets are going to have a very tough decision on their hands. And, I think they will go after Rodgers if he does play. And if they don't get him, I think they will at least put their sniffers out and seriously consider Lamar Jackson. And if, as you think, and I think you think this, that he's probably going to be given the franchise tag and the less restrictive one. So to see if there are any offers out there that the Ravens then would be able to get 2 first-round picks as compensation, let's see what happens. But to me, I think finding out whether some team out there is willing to pay Lamar Jackson $1 jillion guaranteed, I think that is the story of the offseason.
And then, Aaron Rodgers is the first domino to fall there. Because, look, I'm sure the Jets are enamored by what Nathaniel Hackett can bring to the equation. It can't be lost on them that the relationship he has with Rodgers when they hire him. Like, if they don't get Rodgers, great. They still have a guy who they love, who they think can either turn Zach Wilson around or whatever quarterback they get. But that relationship has got to count for something, don't you think?
The quarterback, you know what, Rich? The quarterback market is going to be really a lot of fun because I think the general perception, and it's early. I mean, the draft is 10 weeks away. But the general perception is that there is not a no-doubt guy in this draft. There are 3 really good guys in this draft, but there's not an absolutely no-doubt guy. So, does that mean that Lamar Jackson will be worth more? Does that mean that Baker Mayfield might get a starting job somewhere? And what does that, how does Aaron Rodgers impact that? Could Jordan Love be Aaron Rodgers circa 2008, and 15 years later, history repeats itself with a quarterback drafted in the 20s who gets the starting job in his 4th year? I mean, there's a lot of real fascinating stories revolving around that position.
And I guess I lied. Just in whatever 60 seconds you want to wrap it up. Derek Carr's market, it now exists. What's the timetable there, do you think? Quick? Fast? What do you think?
Well, if I were him, and if I were his agents, what I would be saying is we have the floor all to ourselves right now.
Yeah.
And I think the one thing, Rich, if I were them, I would wait for is I would wait for the white puff of smoke out of the Aaron Rodgers chimney. Because if Aaron Rodgers says either I'm not retiring or I'm going back to Green Bay or whatever it is, whatever he does, after that is known, then there's going to be a lot of clarity as to what Carr's market is. And I just really think at the end of the day, I think the Saints, even though they're in really bad shape cap-wise, I think the Saints should really try hard to figure out how to get Derek Carr, because that is a win-now offense with a defense that's good enough.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.